Welcome to English Stories Academy. If you've ever forgotten a name just seconds after hearing it, if you've studied for hours only to forget everything in the exam, if you walk into a room and forget why you came in, if your head feels overloaded with information and you can't remember what matters, then this video is not just for you. It is meant for you. You're about to learn the exact steps that can unlock your brain, upgrade your memory, and help you remember anything you want. Forever. This isn't just another 5 tricks to boost your memory type of video. This is a deep, powerful system that will help you transform the way your brain works. Starting today. And here's the best part. This video is also great for your English. Because as you listen, you'll learn how to use real, clear, and powerful English sentences, improve your understanding, and grow your vocabulary naturally. So whether you want to pass exams, remember everything you read, speak better English, or train your mind like a genius, stay with me till the end. Because if you truly apply the steps I'm about to show you, you will never forget what matters again. And you will finally feel what it's like to trust your mind again. Let's begin. Step 1. Understand how memory works. The real reason you forget everything. Before you can learn how to remember everything, you need to know why you forget. Most people think they have a bad memory. They say things like, "I'm not smart. My brain is weak. I just can't memorize things." But here's the truth. You don't have a weak memory. You just have an untrained one. And the first mistake is this. We never learned how memory actually works. Let me explain it to you in the simplest and most powerful way. Your brain is like a library. Imagine your brain is a library. Every time you learn something, a name, a date, a fact, it's like putting a book on a shelf. But if you don't place that book carefully, if you don't label it, if you don't come back and check it, it gets lost in the noise. That's exactly what happens in your mind. Information comes in, but it doesn't stay. Because your brain doesn't move it from short-term memory to long-term memory. And that's the key. Short-term versus long-term memory. Here's how it works. Short-term memory is like a whiteboard. You write something down, but if you don't save it, it gets wiped out. Long-term memory is like a permanent notebook. Once it's saved there, it stays forever. But most people keep everything in short-term memory. They hear a name, but never repeat it. They read a page, but don't connect it emotionally. They cram for exams, but don't revisit the material. So the information never moves to long-term storage, and it disappears. Let's say you're at a party. You meet someone new. They say, "Hi, I'm Jason." You smile, shake hands, talk for a few minutes, and walk away. 5 minutes later, someone asks, "What was his name?" And your brain goes blank. Why? Because your brain heard the name but never processed it. It was never repeated. It was never linked to anything emotional. It was never visualized. So it vanished. Now imagine this. You meet Jason again. But this time you think, Jason. Like Jason Statham, the actor. And he does look a bit like him. You smile. You repeat his name. "Nice to meet you, Jason." Then later you say it again. "Jason, what do you do?" Now your brain has focused, connected, and repeated. It has built a stronger path. And next time you see him, you remember. The lesson? Memory is not a talent. It is a skill. And like any skill, it begins with understanding how it works. If you keep throwing information into your brain without understanding how it saves it, you will always feel lost. But if you apply what you're learning right now, you'll finally feel in control. So before we move forward, remember this. Your memory is not broken. Your system is. And today, we're going to build a new system together. Step 2. Pay full attention. Because you can't remember what you never noticed. Here's a brutal truth. You don't have a memory problem. You have an attention problem. You cannot remember what you did not see clearly. You cannot remember what you have heard. You cannot remember what your brain never focused on in the first place. Let me explain why this matters so much. Because if you don't fix this one thing, none of the other memory steps will work. Every day, your brain receives millions of pieces of information. Sounds, colors, movements, words, faces, texts, notifications, noises, headlines, voices. If your brain tried to remember everything, you would go insane. So it chooses what to keep and what to forget. And how does it choose? Based on your attention. If you focus on it, it stays. If you don't, it disappears like it never existed. Your attention is the key that unlocks memory. Imagine this. You get out of a taxi. You're tired. You're checking your phone. You're thinking about dinner. You pay the driver and accidentally leave your bag in the car. 5 minutes later, you realize, oh no, my bag, my passport, my laptop. You try to remember the car's number plate, but your brain gives you nothing. Why? Because your brain was never truly paying attention to the car. You saw it, but you didn't look. You heard the driver's voice, but you didn't listen. Your brain never saved the data because you never told it to. Now imagine if you had paused for just 1 second before getting out of the car. Looked at the number plate, noticed the driver's face, said to yourself, okay, this is a white Toyota with plate number 8473. That 1 second of attention could have saved you everything. You sit in a classroom or on YouTube and someone says something important, but your mind is already somewhere else. You hear it, but it never enters. You read a sentence, but your mind is half thinking about a song you heard earlier. You listen to a podcast, but you're also texting a friend at the same time. Later you say, I studied, but I don't remember. No, you didn't study with attention. You were physically present, but mentally absent. If your mind is not here, your memory won't be either. And it's not your fault. The world is designed to steal your attention. Social media, notifications, multitasking, noise. All of it trains your brain to stay distracted. But the truth is simple. You can't save a file if you never opened it. So don't blame your memory. Blame your focus. Because memory begins with attention. From now on, whenever you want to remember something, stop. Pause. Look. Listen. Say it out loud. Repeat it in your head. Give it real attention for just 5 seconds. Because those 5 seconds can be the difference between remembering for life and forgetting forever. Now you understand. Attention is the door. If you don't open it, nothing gets inside. And that's why Step 2 is the foundation of memory mastery. Step 3. Turn words into pictures. Because your brain thinks in images, not text. Now that you've trained your attention, here's the next secret. Your brain doesn't remember words. It remembers pictures. Let that sink in. If I say the word elephant, what pops into your mind? The letters E-L-E-P-H-A-N-T? No, you see a big gray animal with a long trunk, flapping ears, walking slowly. That's how your brain stores data, as images, not as text. So, if you want to remember anything, a name, a word, a fact, a number, you need to convert it into a mental picture. Let me explain how this changes everything. Words are boring. They're abstract. Your brain doesn't know what to do with them. But images are alive. They have color, emotion, shape, movement. Example, you meet a girl named Lily. Now, if you just think Lily equals name, you'll forget it in minutes. But what if you imagine her hair made of white lilies? Or her holding a bouquet of lilies while smiling? Now her name is connected to a picture. Your brain goes, "Oh, that's interesting. Let's keep it." The more exaggerated or funny or strange the image, the stronger the memory. Want to remember the word volcano? Don't just picture a mountain. Imagine a giant birthday cake erupting with red-hot chocolate lava. Add sound, boom. Add smell, burnt chocolate. It sounds silly, but that's why it works. Because memory is emotion. Memory is movement. Memory is created when your brain says, "Wow, that's cool. Let's try with a list." You want to remember milk, eggs, book, shoes, cat. Don't memorize like a robot. Create a picture story in your mind. A giant milk carton is reading a book, sitting on a pair of shoes, while a cat wearing glasses watches, and eggs are falling from the sky like snowflakes. Now you're laughing. Now you're seeing. Now you'll never forget. Because your brain remembers stories and images, not bullet points. This technique is used by memory champions who memorize hundreds of words in minutes, actors who remember long scripts, language learners who remember thousands of foreign words, business speakers who deliver presentations without notes. And now, you can use it too. Don't just read. See. From now on, don't just read information. See it. Feel it. Animate it in your head. Turn names into faces. Turn ideas into pictures. Turn facts into funny images. Because when you do this, your brain will no longer be a leaky bucket. It will become a vault filled with clear, unforgettable pictures. This step alone can make your memory 10 times stronger, especially if you're learning English, new vocabulary, speeches, or anything you want to keep forever. Step 4. Use the story method. Because your brain is wired for narrative, not lists. Here's a life-changing truth. Your brain doesn't like boring facts. It likes drama. It likes characters. It likes emotion. It likes stories. And that's why the next memory tool is so powerful. If you want to remember anything in life, wrap it in a story. This method is so effective, it's used by memory champions, Hollywood actors, teachers, stage speakers, even ancient philosophers. Why lists don't work. Imagine someone says, "Here's a list, remember it. Apple, horse, jacket, candle, ice cream, cloud, socks, chair, tree, monkey." Try to memorize it. You might remember 3 or 4, maybe 6 if you push hard. But after 5 minutes, gone. Why? Because a list is disconnected. Each item is floating alone. No links, no feelings, no relationships. Now let's change the method. Let's use the story method. Instead of memorizing, we create a crazy, funny, emotional story. Ready? A giant apple falls from the sky and hits a horse on the head. The horse screams, runs into a shop, and steals a jacket. He lights a candle to see in the dark, but accidentally melts an ice cream cone. The ice cream explodes into a cloud that rains socks. One sock hits a chair, which grows into a tree. And from that tree, a laughing monkey swings down and gives you a thumbs up. Now pause. Close your eyes. Repeat the story to yourself. You will remember every word, in the exact order. Why? Because now the list is no longer a list. It's a movie inside your brain. Stories have connection. Each thing leads to the next. Stories have movement, which your brain loves. Stories have emotion. Even if it's silly, your brain says, "This is fun." Stories create a visual scene. So now it's not text. It's memory. This is how children remember fairy tales word for word. But forget their math lesson. This is how movie lines stick in your brain for years. But news headlines disappear the next day. Want to remember your to-do list? Turn it into a story. Want to remember foreign vocabulary? Turn each word into an image and build a story. Want to give a speech without notes? Make every point part of a story in your head. You'll never need to memorize again. The story doesn't need to be logical. In fact, the crazier, the better. Your brain holds on to surprise, not logic. So give yourself permission to be creative, weird, even childish. Because this is not just memory improvement. This is memory liberation. Use the story method. And if you apply it correctly, you can literally turn anything boring into something unforgettable. And that is the superpower of memory. Step 5. Practice spaced repetition. Because one-time learning is fake learning. Let me now share a painful truth about school, exams, and memory. Cramming is not learning, and memorizing something once does not mean it's in your memory forever. Your brain needs time, space, and repetition to save things permanently. This is where spaced repetition comes in. It is one of the most powerful memory techniques in the world, and it's used by language learners, medical students, memory champions, top performers in every field. Now let me explain it in a way that even a 10-year-old could understand. Think of memory like writing in sand. You learn something today. You write it clearly. But tomorrow, wind comes. Waves hit. The writing fades. By next week, it's gone. This is called the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. Yes, it's a real science thing. If you don't review information, your brain forgets it quickly. Here's how to beat forgetting. Learn it once, review after 1 hour, review again after 1 day, then after 2 days, then after 4 days, then after 1 week, then after 2 weeks. Each time you review it, your brain says, "Oh, this again? It must be important." And it saves it deeper and deeper. After 5 to 6 spaced repetitions, the memory becomes permanent. It's like turning sand writing into stone carving. Let's say you learn the English word serendipity. It means finding something good without looking for it. You love the word. You feel smart. You tell your friend, but then you never see it again. 1 week later, you forgot it. It's gone. Why? Because you didn't repeat it. Now let's try the spaced repetition way. Day 1. You learn serendipity. 1 hour later, you write a sentence. I found a beautiful book by serendipity. Night. You say it out loud again. Day 2. You try using it in a conversation. Day 4. You write a short story using the word. Day 7. You hear it in a podcast and smile. Day 14. You teach it to someone else. Now, that word belongs to you forever. Because you didn't just meet it once. You had a relationship with it. And that's how memory works. Many learners use free tools like Anki, Quizlet, Brainscape. These apps automatically test you using spaced intervals. But even without apps, you can do this on paper. Create a box, write the date, and check back every few days. It's not about tools, it's about timing. So many people feel broken. They say, I read this already. Why don't I remember? I studied for 5 hours. Where did it go? The answer is, no review equals no memory. One-time learning is like throwing water at a plant, and then never watering it again. Spaced repetition is like watering it gently, again and again, until it grows deep roots and stands strong forever. If you apply this one technique, your memory will stop being temporary. It will become permanent, reliable, and ready whenever you need it. Step 6. Use emotional connection. Because feelings make memory permanent. Let me now tell you something so powerful that once you understand it, your entire memory will start to change forever. The stronger the emotion, the deeper the memory. Think about your life. Do you remember the clothes you wore 7 days ago? Probably not. But you remember the day someone broke your heart? Or the time you felt humiliated in class? Or when someone gave you a genuine compliment that made you cry? Why? Because your brain doesn't just store facts. It stores feelings. And that's why this step is so powerful. If you want to remember something deeply, you must attach an emotion to it. You could read a sentence 10 times and forget it tomorrow. But if one sentence made you cry, made you laugh, made you feel strong, you'll remember it for the rest of your life. That's the power of emotion. It activates a part of your brain called the amygdala, which signals your brain, this is important, store this forever. So if you want to remember anything, ask yourself, how does this make me feel? Can I connect this to a real experience in my life? Can I find a way to care about this deeply? Let's say you're studying a history date. April 15th, 1912. Titanic sank. Most people memorize this like a robot. They don't care, so they forget. Now imagine this. You read about how 1,500 people died. How musicians kept playing while the ship sank. How mothers held their children. How lovers whispered goodbye. How some people gave up their seats to save strangers. Suddenly, it's not just a date. It's a human story. It's a tragedy. It's a reminder of love, loss, bravery. And now, you will never forget April 15th, 1912. Because now, you feel it. Every time you learn something, you ask yourself, can I turn this into a personal connection? Have I ever experienced something like this? Can I feel joy, anger, sadness, or surprise from this? If yes, your brain will remember it longer. If no, it will treat it like trash and delete it within hours. Even with English vocabulary, don't just learn the meaning, feel the word. Example: abandon. Don't just say, it means to leave. Remember the day someone left you, or when you gave up on something you loved. Now the word lives inside you. Bonus trick: fake emotion if you must. Sometimes a topic is boring. You have to learn it. Still, try to add an emotion. Example: math formula. Area of a triangle equals 1/2 times base times height. Boring? Try this. Imagine the triangle is a slice of pizza. You're hungry. You only get half. That pain of eating only half a slice will make you remember that half. Yes, it's silly. But your brain doesn't care about logic. It cares about emotion. Even fake emotion is better than no emotion. If you truly understand and apply this, you will begin to feel like every lesson is alive. And what is alive never dies. Step 7. Teach what you learn. Because teaching is remembering twice. Now let me reveal one of the most underrated memory secrets on earth. If you want to remember something forever, teach it, not tomorrow, not next week. Teach it immediately, right after you learn it. Because the moment you teach something, you go from receiver to creator. You stop being a student, and you start becoming the master. And that changes everything. When you teach something to another person, you are forced to do three things. 1. Recall it clearly. 2. Organize it in your mind. 3. Say it in your own words. This forces your brain to rebuild the knowledge from inside. And anything you can rebuild, you will never forget. It's like carving it in stone. Let's say today you learned the English word procrastinate. You read. Procrastinate means to delay doing something. You understand it, but if you walk away and say nothing, your brain says, okay, maybe this isn't important. And within 24 hours, the word is gone. But if you say to your friend, hey, do you know the word procrastinate? It means when we keep delaying things we know we should do, like homework, exercise, or cleaning. I always procrastinate doing the dishes. Boom. Now your brain just built a memory that will never die. Why? Because you didn't just learn it. You used it, shared it, taught it. When I say teach, I don't mean become a teacher. You can do any of these. Explain what you learned to a friend. Speak it out loud to yourself in the mirror. Write a social media post about it. Record a voice note pretending to teach someone. Make a mini video, even if no one watches. You don't need an audience. You just need to activate the teacher mode inside you, and when you do, you learn deeper than ever before. Students who study and then teach others perform up to 90% better on tests. Doctors who teach new interns remember procedures faster. Even spiritual leaders say, when you teach, you heal twice. Once for them, and once for you. Teaching is not the end of learning. Teaching is the proof of learning. It is one of the most powerful mental tools in the world. And the best part? It's free. It's fast. It's available to you right now. If you apply this step daily, you'll become a memory machine. And more than that, you'll start inspiring others to learn, just by being you. Step 8. Create a mind palace. Because your brain remembers places better than facts. This is one of the most legendary memory techniques in history. It was used by ancient Greek philosophers. It is used by modern-day memory champions. And it's so powerful that people have memorized the order of entire decks of cards, entire speeches, even hundreds of random facts. In minutes. It's called the Mind Palace. And now I'm going to teach you how to build one. What is a mind palace? Your brain is naturally good at remembering places, locations, buildings, rooms, houses, rooms. Even after 10 years, you might still remember the house you lived in as a child, the color of the walls, where the couch was, the smell of the kitchen, your favorite corner to hide. Why? Because your brain loves space. It remembers places because places anchor information. Now imagine this. What if you could place any information you want to remember inside a location in your mind? You could walk through your memory, like a hallway, and collect every detail you want. That's the Mind Palace. Let me walk you through it, in simple, beginner-friendly steps. Choose a place you know very well. Your home, your school, your favorite cafe. The place should be familiar, so you can walk through it in your mind easily. Let's say you choose your house. Imagine walking through it. Visualize your main door, then the living room, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, balcony. Try to picture it as clearly as possible, like a mental video game. Assign memory items to each location. Now take what you want to remember and place one item in each room, using pictures. Let's say you want to memorize the planets in order: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Here's how your mind palace might look. Living room. A pan is on fire. That's Mercury. Hot, like mercury in a thermometer. Kitchen. A perfume bottles raise pink fog. That's Venus, the goddess of beauty. Bathroom. A spinning globe in the bathtub. That's Earth. Bedroom. Red dust all over the bed. That's Mars, the red planet. Balcony. A giant balloon bouncing like a ball. Jupiter, biggest planet. Stairs. A ring around the stair pole. Saturn, rings of Saturn. Terrace. An ice cube shivering on a chair. Uranus, cold planet. Gate. A blue ocean splashing at your feet. Neptune, god of the sea. Now close your eyes and walk through your house. You will never forget the order of the planets again. You are using locations your brain already knows. You are adding visual stories inside those spaces. Your brain associates space with memory, making it stronger and stickier. This is how memory athletes can memorize the exact order of 500 random numbers. Because they place them inside their mind palaces. Use cases. Memorizing speeches, learning foreign words, remembering facts, numbers, lists, studying for exams, memorizing a daily routine. The mind palace gives you structure. And the brain loves structure. Tips for success. Make the images inside your palace as strange and emotional as possible. Review your palace often. Walk through it daily. Keep using the same palace. The more familiar it becomes, the better it works. And don't worry if it feels hard at first. Just like any skill, the more you use it, the more powerful it becomes. And if you truly use it, your brain will no longer be a place where knowledge gets lost. It will become a temple, where everything you need is kept safe, organized, and ready. Step 9. Review before sleep. Because night is when your brain decides what to keep. Here's a fact that schools never teach, but it's scientifically proven. What you do in the last 10 minutes before you sleep can change what you remember for life. Yes, your brain has a special power at night. And if you don't use it correctly, you're throwing away your best chance to build memory. Let me explain. When you sleep, your brain is not resting. It is cleaning, organizing, and storing everything you learned that day. It's like a librarian going through all the books you opened. It decides, keep this, delete this, move this to long term, forget this, useless. And what tells your brain what to keep? Repetition plus emotion plus timing. So when you review something right before bed, you send your brain a signal. This is important. Save this, please. And it does. Let's say you studied 10 English words in the afternoon. You did well, but you didn't look at them again. Then at night, you scrolled Instagram, watched 10 videos, checked 5 random memes. Your brain says, oh, these funny reels are important. He saw them right before sleep. And it keeps them. Meanwhile, your English words, they get thrown out with the trash. Now imagine a new routine. Before bed, you take 5 minutes. You sit quietly. You review your 10 English words. You whisper them. You use them in sentences. You feel proud. Then you sleep. Now your brain says, yes, this matters. Let's move this into permanent memory. You wake up stronger. Here's what you can do each night before bed. Turn off distractions. No phone, no loud music. Open your notebook or flashcards. Review what you learned that day. Even just 5 key points. Speak them out loud or silently. Close your eyes. Visualize them. Feel proud. Sleep with peace. That simple ritual can change your memory forever. Why this step is special. No extra time needed. It's part of your natural sleep process. Deeply improves memory consolidation, scientifically proven. Builds consistency and discipline. Improves not only memory, but sleep quality and focus. This is a hidden weapon that most people ignore. But the masters use it every night. Step 10. Write things down. Because writing is the save button of the brain. There's a reason why people forget what they read, forget what they hear, forget what they see. But they almost never forget what they write. Why? Because writing activates your brain in a completely different way. It slows your thinking down. It forces you to organize your thoughts, and it creates a strong physical and mental connection between your hand and your memory. Think of writing as the moment you press save in your brain. If you don't write it, it stays floating. If you do write it, it lands, locks, and lasts. When you hear or read something, your brain is passive. It says, "Okay, that sounds nice," and often forgets it within minutes. But when you write something with your own hand, your brain becomes active. It says, "Wait, this is serious. I need to understand this deeply." And that's when true learning begins. Writing doesn't just help you remember the sentence. It helps you understand the meaning behind it. And when you understand, you remember for life. Let's say you're trying to learn the English word resilience. You read the meaning. Resilience equals the ability to recover after difficulties. You smile, you understand. But if you don't use it, don't say it, don't repeat it, you'll forget it tomorrow. Now try this. You take your notebook. You write. Word. Resilience. Meaning, ability to bounce back after tough times. Sentence. After losing his job, he didn't give up. His resilience helped him find a new path. Personal connection. I want to become more resilient in my life too. This process takes 60 seconds. But now the word is no longer just a definition. It's a story, a feeling, and a part of your life. You've written it into your brain. Typing is fast, but writing is real. When you type, your fingers move automatically. When you write by hand, you slow down, you feel the letters, you see every shape. That physical action builds deeper memory pathways in your brain. Even science says, students who write notes by hand remember better than those who only type or highlight. So if you want real memory, grab a pen, get a notebook, and make your learning physical. What to write? Anything you want to remember. Especially new vocabulary, important facts, motivational lines, key ideas from books or videos, quotes that touched your heart, lessons that you never want to forget. Writing is your personal library builder. You are building your own mind. And trust me, one notebook written with love is worth more than 10 videos watched without action. From today, build the habit of writing daily. Even just one sentence. It's not just good for memory. It's a superpower. Step 11. Use active recall, because testing yourself builds true, uncheckable memory. Most people make a huge mistake when learning. They keep looking at the answer again and again, and they think, "I understand. I've got it." But understanding is not the same as remembering. The real question is not, can you understand it while reading it? The real question is, can you remember it when it's not in front of you? If the answer is no, then the knowledge is not yours yet. This is where active recall comes in. It is the most powerful and most honest memory method in the world. What is active recall? It's simple. Close the book, close the app, close the video, and ask your brain, can I remember it? No looking, no cheating, No copying, just your brain, and the truth. And that process of pulling the information out forces your memory to get stronger. The more you pull, the more your brain keeps. Let's say you're learning this sentence. Consistency is more important than intensity. You read it, you like it, you understand it. But now test it. Cover the sentence. Ask yourself, what was that quote I just read? What's the meaning of it? Can I say it in my own words? Can I explain it to a friend? Maybe at first you struggle. Maybe you only remember half. That's okay. That struggle is where the real learning is happening. Because now your brain is trying, working, strengthening. Repeat the process again the next day. Now you remember better. Do it again next week. Now you'll remember for life. Why this works so well. Think of it like going to the gym, reading, watching someone lift weights. But active recall equals you lifting the weight. And every time you recall something, you're lifting a mental dumbbell, and your brain is growing stronger. After reading something, close the book and write what you remember. After watching a video, pause and say out loud what you learn. Use flashcards. See the question. Try to recall the answer without help. Before sleep, try to remember 3 things you learned that day. Ask yourself, like a quiz, what does that word mean? Can I use it in a sentence? Don't just reread, retrieve, rebuild, recall. Because retrieval builds retention. Yes, it feels uncomfortable. Yes, it's easier to just read or watch again. But if you want memory that sticks forever, you must be willing to test yourself in silence. Not in front of an exam, but every single day, on your own. That's how champions are built. That's how deep knowledge is created. Make this part of your daily memory routine, and your brain will become unstoppable. Step 12. Protect your mind from overload. Because a crowded brain can't remember anything. Let's end this journey with a truth that no one talks about. A truth that may be silently killing your memory every single day. Your brain is not meant to carry everything. It is meant to carry only what matters. And right now your brain is overloaded, full of noise, full of junk, full of information that doesn't belong in your life. You're not forgetting because you're lazy. You're forgetting because your mind is cluttered. If your brain is filled with 10,000 useless notifications, it has no space to store the one thing that could change your life. Let's fix that. Now. Every day you wake up and the cycle begins. You scroll Instagram before your feet hit the floor. You watch 5 YouTube shorts before brushing your teeth. You check 3 different apps before breakfast. You absorb 100 opinions that aren't even yours. You watch, hear, click, scroll. And by 9 a.m., your brain is already exhausted. You haven't even started your day, but your memory is already on strike. This is the hidden enemy of memory. Too much input, not enough silence. Your brain is like a glass of water. If you keep pouring more and more without emptying it, it spills, it overflows, it breaks, and that's why you forget. Let's say you made a mental grocery list in the morning. Buy milk, buy bread, buy apples, buy soap, buy onions. You don't write it down because you're confident. I'll remember. It's just 5 things. But what happens? After making the list, you check your phone. You scroll through 25 notifications. You watch 2 YouTube videos. You reply to WhatsApp messages. You scroll Instagram. You hear news. You see 10 memes. You even jump to a conversation about a Netflix show. By the time you reach the store, Your mind goes blank. You remember milk and apples, but forget onions and soap. And you feel frustrated. Why did I forget something so simple? The answer is not that you're stupid. It's not that your brain is weak. It's that your brain was flooded with junk. The important list got buried under a mental mountain of meaningless content. Not because it wasn't important, but because you allowed too many unimportant things to take up space. The mind is a garden, not a dump. You must protect your memory like a garden. If weeds grow wild, they choke the flowers. So every day you must ask, what am I allowing into my mind? Is this helping me grow? Or is it cluttering my memory? Am I building myself or burying myself? If you want better memory, you need better boundaries. How to protect your brain. Powerful habits. Start your day in silence. Before touching your phone, give yourself 5 minutes of stillness. Breathe. Set an intention. Let your brain wake up clean. Limit useless information. Unfollow noise. Mute junk. Don't let your brain become a trash bin for other people's distractions. Use journaling to empty your head. Write down your thoughts every night. This helps your mind release stress and remember what matters. Practice digital fasting. Take 1 hour daily with no phone. Just your notebook, your thoughts. Watch how your brain feels lighter. Choose what deserves your energy. Not every message needs a reply. Not every video needs your time. Not every thought needs a place in your memory. Protect your mind like you protect your home. You wouldn't let strangers sleep in your bedroom. Why let random content live rent-free in your brain? You cannot have clarity, power, focus, or purpose if your brain is drowning in distraction. This is not just a tip. This is a requirement for mental survival in today's world. Because memory is not just about learning. It's about making space for what matters. From today, be ruthless about what you allow into your mental world. You only get one brain. Don't waste it on noise. That was step 12. Protect your mind from overload. It is the final filter, the ultimate discipline, the silent superpower that will take your memory to a new level, and your life to a new direction. Now you know the 12 proven steps to remember anything for life. Not just tricks, not just tips, but real, powerful, transformational strategies that will make you remember faster, speak better English, learn anything deeply, feel confident in your mind again, and finally take control of your focus, attention, and learning forever. But let me remind you of one thing. Knowing these steps is not enough. You must live them, practice them, use them. Because real memory isn't about genius. It's about daily decisions. Do you write what you learn? Do you teach what you remember? Do you protect your brain from overload? Do you review before sleep? Do you visualize? Do you build your mind palace? Do you repeat with feeling? Do you clear mental clutter? If the answer is yes, then welcome. You're not just someone who remembers well. You're becoming someone who remembers what matters. This video isn't just about memory. It's about awakening the real power inside your mind. And one last thing before you go. This video is not only a gift for your memory, it's also amazing for your English. Every sentence, every word, every step has helped you grow. In focus, in clarity, in English understanding. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel.